Welcome to Baker Dave Presents. We are here once again at Morgan Hall at Temple University. It's a working kitchen. There might be some noises, there might be some stuff going on in the background. Today my guest is Denise Geraci. She is the catering director here on campus, and she has brought with her recipe for Santa Claus cookies coming right up. All right, welcome.
Thank you. Nice
Denise
to see you.
Geraci, you're the director of catering here on campus.
I am.
Working with Sodexo. I've worked with you for, you actually hired me.
I did hire you, I did. You thought you were in the wrong place.
I totally thought I was in the wrong place.
Yes.
I tried to walk out.
You did.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I pulled you back in and looked at your book and wrote down, hire
You were supposed
him.
to answer the right questions, or you gave up on it? Did you have the special list
Yes,
of how you...
I did.
That's because I was sitting there. It was a job fair, right?
Yes, it was. Yes.
And, I mean, there was a lot of people that might be a little less savory that were applying for jobs.
A little less.
As I was sitting there, you're hearing people doing the interviews and stuff, and you're literally sitting there in the interviews. It's all in the same room.
Yes.
Like, you can hear people talking and stuff. And I still remember several people, well, you'll have to talk to your parole officer. And then they would walk off and get their paperwork. And I was like, I think I'm in the wrong place.
Well,
I
that's
think
what
I
you
gotta
told
go.
me. That's
I did.
what you
And
told me.
I tried to
Yeah.
leave. My brother-in-law made me stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got up to talk to you, and I was like, I really think I'm in the wrong place. And then you were like, nope, you're in the right place. And here, 14 years later or whatever.
Is that how long it's been?
I think
Wow.
it's been about that. Yeah, it's a long time, right?
So, nice to meet you
Yeah,
again.
nice to meet you
Okay.
again. All right, so today you're gonna make Santa Claus cookies.
We are, yes.
So that's your favorite holiday, Christmas?
It became my favorite holiday.
So as a kid, it wasn't your favorite
It
holiday?
was not. I grew up in a very Jewish family, and our lives revolved around food, as a lot of people's lives do. And one day, when I was in my early years and married, we went visiting somebody.
Geraci is not a big...
Geraci is not a big Jewish name, no. And she took this beautiful tin off of a refrigerator, and she opened it up, and there in the tin was 40 kinds of beautiful handmade cookies. And
So you didn't really have a lot of cookies growing up? Like, I feel like there's a lot of Jewish cookies.
We had chocolate chip, we had arugula, we had, but we didn't have Santa Claus cookies. We didn't have things with all these different, icings, and we didn't have all these colors and flavors, and we never made them all at one time in this beautiful tin. And
right, and Christmas is the only time you do that.
Exactly. So at that moment, I thought that's just something.
As a food person, you're like, I'm in. I want to do lots and lots of
that.
cookies.
And that was the beginning. And I started with 3 kinds and 4 kinds, and my record is 27.
Holy cow.
My record is 27.
Do you get any sleep during this time of year?
I do. It's a little harder.
Because it's busy here too, right?
It's very busy here, but I go home and make my batters, but it's something that I've done for 20-some years, and everybody looks forward to it. And come Christmas time,
this is the important one.
This is the one, because if you open that tin,
that's the cookie staring at you.
And the cookie is not there, the first thing everybody says is, where's the Santa Claus cookie?
So you have to have a Santa Claus.
The one year I didn't make them because I was.
Did any of your Jewish family ask for the Santa Claus cookie?
Absolutely. Are you kidding
That's
me?
awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
So have you ever made any for any other holidays? As I'm making
cookies?
this, as we're prepping this and getting ready and stuff, and I'm looking at the recipe, and I'm thinking to myself, if you just put some little stripes on it and then some red eyes, it would look like it was.
It would. No. Easter, and they get their own cookie.
Okay. This is only for Christmas.
Only for Christmas.
Holiday cookie for anybody that might be offended.
Santa.
Okay, so.
If you believe in Santa, then it's for you.
It's for you.
Yes.
Perfect. So the one thing I did notice too, this is old school. We got shortening in here.
Yes, we do.
There's no butter in this recipe.
The only cookie I make with shortening.
Do you know why it's called shortening?
I have no. That's why you're here. I guess.
That's why I'm here. This is awesome. Okay, so interestingly enough,
okay.
What shortening actually does is it shortens the gluten strands.
Okay.
So if you're making bread, the gluten, which is the protein in your flour, will actually bind together and it'll lengthen it, and it'll be really stringy and tough and becomes elastic, right?
Okay.
Bread does?
Yes.
But cookie dough doesn't, right? Cookie dough is it's not that way. Fat actually will break those strands apart and make it more tender. What's interesting is that they didn't know that when they called it shortening. I mean, it's been around since like 1910, I think, or something.
Okay.
They used to call short doughs tender doughs. So the short was like reference to it being more tender than other recipes that didn't have shortening in it, right? And shortening actually just refers to any kind of solid fat. Although we only call this shortening. butter would actually be a type of shortening because they would all do the same thing. They would all shorten the gluten strands.
Okay.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay.
Like any cookie, I assume that you put your sugar in first.
Want to put these in?
Yeah, you'll want to wear gloves because one thing I will tell you about shortening is it is super hard to clean off your hands. That and peanut butter.
Yes.
Like
I'll
it
spray-
really, like you need a lot of soap to break down that fat.
Okay.
It has very little water in it is the problem. So butter is actually easier to clean off because butter is only about 80% fat. There's still some water in butter, but there's no real water in shortening, which would make it a bit of a higher fat content. But it'll make your stuff more tender. It has a higher melting point, so it'll actually keep separations in the, like when you're making pie dough and stuff, little pieces of fat will get caught between the layers.
Yes, that's why you get the flakes.
And it creates like a steam, right? When it
Yes.
melts, and it melts later than butter does. That's why it's actually, butter becomes gummy because of the extra water. So it's actually good for pie doughs and certain cookie doughs to use shortening, even though people are afraid of it nowadays.
Well,
With the trans fat thing.
this is the only thing that I use shortening for in my entire life is this cookie.
Okay, so we're gonna add our sugar. And like with all cookie, you're gonna use the sugar as like sandpaper to break down the fat. I also like to, at this point, add my baking soda and baking powder. So
Okay.
it's definitely mixed in. That way you're mixing at the beginning. You don't have to worry about it not getting in there. You have lemon zest, which is pretty fun.
Now these cookies, believe it or not, even without all this icing, all this stuff, are delicious.
Are they?
Well, I found out one
hard
year
way?
when when I tripled the recipe,
And you're like,
and I
need
didn't
that
have
many
enough
cookies?
time to decorate all the Santa Clauses.
Because of your 27 other cookies.
Because my
Maybe if
27
you made a few less cookies, you could have
Maybe.
decorated, and then they could have got 2 cookies in a tin.
They
How
could
exciting
have.
would that have been?
would have been just overload.
You could have made one like a Mrs. Claus.
All right,
I'm not sure how that would look
let's
different.
not get carried.
Maybe that should be a new tradition.
Yeah, but now there's no beard. You can't do that.
I don't know.
can't do that.
Some Mrs. Clauses might have beards. Who knows?
So I had a whole tin of non-decorated Santa Claus cookies.
But you still eat them.
My girlfriend, she gets a tin all by itself.
Of just those?
Just that.
With not
With
decorated?
not decorated.
So that became a new tradition?
That
now you have to
became
make
hers.
it triple
I'm
every
telling
time.
you, this is, once I get in, I'm in, and then I'm stuck.
It seems like a fairly basic cookie,
Okay. Egg,
but 1 egg.
1 egg.
And then we have 2 tablespoons of milk, too.
No, is there? Okay. I only make these once a year. I'll have to look and check the
You're like,
recipe.
is there? That's what it said. I'm going with it.
Okay. I thought that was for the icing.
Oh, well, that might be why. Whatever.
Okay, then.
That's fine.
Flour.
And we have flour. I think it's 2 cups of flour.
Yes. Okay.
And then you just bring it together. And like with your hands, it's actually very easy to do. One of the good things about shortening compared to butter is that it tends to be room temperature. You keep shortening.
Yes, you do.
So it's much easier to mix if
You
you
don't
don't
have-
have a mixer.
Yes.
So that's super cool. So what's some good stories you got from, I don't know, catering or Christmas or?
Well, these cookies, this is the cookie that not that I hate to make it, but it's the last one I make because
Do you ever not have time?
I run out of time, but you can't let them sit too long because then after a while the red starts to bleed and then marshmallow gets hard. So you
Oh.
kind of have to do the last minute. So my daughter,
Christmas Eve?
not that last minute.
No.
But, no. My daughter comes down and she comes and helps me, and she's the one that decorates them. So she has, each year she tries to decorate one more. So we have it down to 13 cookies before you need a break. So she decorates 13.
So your daughter decorates, what is she, like 10?
My little elf, my daughter is 30-some years old. So.
And she can only make it through
And
13
she can
cookies?
only
Are you
make it through-
serious?
and then she takes a nap,
And she takes
and then
a
she
nap.
comes back, and then she decorates
Meanwhile,
13 more.
you're
but
27 batches of
I'm
cookies
in,
in,
and I'm in a third or fourth batch of
and she
batter.
can't make it past 13.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's tedious, but when it's all done and you see them all lined up in a row, it's all worth it.
So she's not working in this field.
She is not working
She
in
would
this
never be able
field.
to make money if you
No,
only could make 13 cookies at a
she's
time.
not working in this field. I think the buck stops here.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not her forte. No.
So
So here we
did
go.
you grow up in this area?
Northeast Philadelphia.
Northeast Philadelphia.
Yes, Northeast High School.
Okay.
We're good.
And you live there now, or you live?
I live in Franklinville, New Jersey.
Oh, so you're still in the area. I mean, you're not. Far.
Yeah,
Did you
I'm
ever
not
move
too
away
far.
at all? Did you
I
go
did not.
like you didn't go to California for a
I
few
did
years
not.
and
I did
travel
not.
Europe or something?
No, I like this area.
Well, that's good. It's good to
good.
stay home.
Okay.
So this is nice crumbly texture.
Yes,
That's
it's
how
very
it's supposed to look?
soft. It's very soft, and it rolls very well. And you roll it into a ball, and then you roll it into sugar.
You roll it into sugar.
After you roll the ball, you roll it into sugar. You flatten it out a little bit.
How do you flatten it out?
I use a cup with shortening on it and sugar, and you just smush it down.
But you roll the ball in sugar first.
You roll the ball in sugar. Oh, I took my gloves off. See, this is, you can
That's
do
okay.
this.
You can do it too. It's not that it's, you know.
I took my gloves off prematurely.
Prematurely. You get it. We'll grab some. We'll roll them in sugar and grab them and do some. It's just.
Here.
It's okay. Your hands are clean, right?
They are.
Exactly. So you roll it in sugar.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Yes.
Is that too big?
No, that's good.
That's good. See,
All right,
because
here.
you never know. I mean, if you make it big
Here.
enough, what if we
So
can't
put that
decorate the
down.
cookie?
And you press that.
Well, this is what I did too, right? Is that all you press it down?
That's it. That's it.
Oh. So it spreads itself out.
It does.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now, if you really want to get creative, and you can take a popsicle stick and stick it in there. And
Have
then
you done that
the-
before?
No.
I feel like it would fall off. I
It
never
doesn't
understood.
fit into the tin. I can't. No.
It doesn't fit in the tin.
It has to sit right
Maybe
in
you
the
need
top.
a bigger tin. What if you get a little oval tin?
All right. 27 tins sitting in the kitchen.
Are they the
It's
same
just-
tins?
No.
What do you get them back? I was going to say.
Sometimes the people will give them back to me
Do
because
they get extra cookies in?
they want them filled.
Or no? The same cookies. Otherwise, you got to go to the dollar store every year, right? And get more
We
tins?
do. There's a lot of people around this area that has my cookie tins storing pencils and things. Yes.
Don't they? Well, I mean, at some point you have too many tins, right? You start throwing them out.
Well,
Would that
there's
bother
never
you?
too many tins. There's never too many tins.
You're a big Pinterest fan, right?
I
You
am.
probably build all sorts of stuff with tins.
No, I don't. My cookie tins are my cookie tins. No,
Oh,
I
I
do
don't know,
not.
maybe-
No, I give the cookie tins out, and then every year I give out the cookies to
Well,
my.
I want to point out, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm thinking of the Pinterest right now, right? I feel like
Yes.
this is like a life hack, like an old school life hack right now.
doing
Because
what?
this cookie looks like a cutout cookie. when
This
it's
is an
done.
old. I mean, this is. I mean,
But you're not, you don't have to
this is
roll
a-
it out and cut it out.
No, you don't.
So it's almost like a little mini life hack on how to
Yes.
make cutout cookies without actually having to cut them out.
These
How great is that?
are quick and easy, and you don't have to worry about that. And they're just as good as spending all that time decorating. That's it.
So then we just put them in the oven, right?
That's it.
Is it pretty high temperature? Or
I don't know. I have to check my recipe.
like 350, 400? I figure
Yes.
you're safe there either way, right?
400. Yes, 400.
Should make them more often. See, if you made Halloween
no.
ones. think
I
of it.
do,
Think
but
of
I
it.
have
If you-
another recipe
if you
for
put
Halloween.
some mummy stripes on it and then use some red eyes, it'll look like it's staring out at you.
That's a cutout recipe. That's different. This
But
stays
you
in
wouldn't have to cut it
Christmas.
out.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
you can't do. Then you're eating the same thing all year.
You
If
eat
you
them
don't-
in between
if-
that?
no.
Oh, I guess they're pretty close though, Halloween,
If
right?
you do not eat them for 11 months,
They're better?
they're better because then you haven't had them for a whole year. That's why you can't make them ever, only on Christmas.
Only on Christmas.
Only on Christmas.
And
That's
only
it.
in the last 20 years.
20 some. Yeah.
20 something. We're not going to.
We're not going to. Yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah. I still have people that I haven't seen in 10 years, 15
Asking
years,
for 'em?
asking for cookies.
And this is the
Or if I don't work with them
piece de
anymore,
resistance.
this is the one that is the
You know what I feel like?
exclamation mark at the end
Do you
of
ever
the
get like
sentence.
chocolates? And there's always like that one chocolate in the center,
the center.
that is decorated like whatever the brand name of the thing
Yes,
is.
that's
This is
the-
what this is.
That's what that is. It's right in the center.
Okay, cool.
Right in the center of the tin. Yeah.
Okay, so we've taken the cookies out and we let them cool because you can't decorate them hot, right?
Correct.
So they spread out a little bit, which is
A little
good.
bit. Mm-hmm.
And we're ready to decorate. I mean,
We are.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
But the cookies, well, no, this is the part that gets tedious.
Now, you probably don't want to add all your milk. You want to add whatever you think you need to get.
Yes.
So you basically, it's a simple icing.
It's a simple icing. It's not
literally
a,
just powdered sugar and milk.
Yes. You can add some vanilla if you'd like.
If you're, lactose intolerant, maybe use water.
You can.
It shouldn't really make a difference.
Yes, it's not royal icing. It's not the stuff that gets really hard. You don't have to go through all that. It's just simple
And the powdered sugar will absorb.
We're gonna need some
will
more
absorb
milk.
It quick.
because you have an awful lot of sugar in
We
here.
have more sugar than you
We
thought you
do.
needed.
Yes, we do.
Well, then that's
We need more
Something,
milk.
isn't it?
Yes. So we need more milk. Yes, it should be the consistency of drippy, not.
Is that too much now? I probably went the wrong way.
No, well, this is
See,
why.
this is why you need a real recipe.
Well,
Grandma's not
underst-
always right.
This is why you end up with more icing to decorate, or you end up
And what do you do with the extra icing?
you cover it and do it tomorrow. Because
For
you only-
for the
yeah,
700
because
cookies.
you can only do 13 at a time,
Right,
so
so
you know.
it's going to take you 3 weeks to make. How many of those tins do you think you give out a year? Would 13 cover your tins?
Well, I give out the small tins. I give about 25 people tins of cookies.
So almost, your daughter almost
Yeah.
can make the whole amount, almost.
Yes, almost.
Just not quite.
Not quite.
Is that about the right consistency?
A little bit more water. Just a drop.
I'm not used to someone telling me what to do all the time.
Me neither.
I'm still wrong.
It's okay.
I should get used to this, right?
Being wrong or,
Yeah.
or telling you what to do. Okay.
So that looks good.
That
right?
looks good. Okay. So you only have a
This
certain
is-
amount of time here. Do you mind?
Why? What's going to happen?
Because this is what happened to my,
So you're icing?
yeah. Because once you spread this, okay, you spread it on the whole thing.
You spread the entire thing. I love these because, like I said, you didn't have to cut them out, but they're going to
You
look
did
like cut out
not.
cookies
You
when they're done.
absolutely didn't. Now, I want to make a mess here, which is why I usually put wax paper all over the whole table.
You wax paper your entire table.
You do, because this is the I need a spoon or something, but this is the hat. So if the top half gets the hat,
Literally entire half.
the top, yes.
So that's good. You
And
don't
then
have
here's
to.
the pom-pom, so you have to make sure it's wet, so the pom-pom is going to be glued on. Okay,
That's a marshmallow.
that's a marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
Then we have little tiny chocolate chips for the eyes. Okay,
Okay.
and then you can either use a.
In this world of fondant and everything else that people does on other cookies,
No.
this is refreshing to see.
That's all it is. Now I'm going to use a cut up. You can use currants here if you don't have the chocolate chips.
Who
but
has
you-
currants and doesn't have chocolate chips? Are
Well,
you serious?
You never know in my
Right.
kitchen.
Maybe your kitchen has currants
Yeah.
instead of chocolate chips, but
So-
I can tell you I always have chocolate chips. I do
Okay.
not always have currants.
I'm going to put the nose. I dip the cut raisin into the sugar for the nose. You can also use a cinnamon candy for that, which is probably better.
Which is probably better.
Which
but we
is
didn't
probably
have
better,
cinnamon
but we didn't
candies.
have them. And then you have to sprinkle the
Coconut for the beard.
for the beard.
And there you go. It's Santa
And
Claus.
There you go. It's Santa Claus.
One thing I wanted to point out
That's
is
one.
that's 12 more to go.
12 more to go.
So I actually made this colored sugar.
Okay.
So people don't always realize this. A lot of times you'll go to the store and you're like, I have to have red sugar, so you have to find red sugar somewhere. And good luck trying to find red sugar, right?
Right.
You're gonna keep going, aren't you?
I
you're
am.
like, now you're in the mode.
How many people? They got a lot of people. They want a cookie.
Of course they do. So if you take your sugar, right,
Right.
and you just put a couple of drops of your food coloring in it, and then you rub it between your hands,
Okay.
and then you can keep adding more sugar to it, you can actually color any sugar, any color that you want.
Where were you when I ran out of colored sugar?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Something else I learned recently in the last couple of years is you can do the same thing with jimmies or sprinkles. If you have white ones, you can actually color them different colors.
Ah.
I should probably decorate one or two, right? Because I've never.
Well, I want you to see how
How
extraordinarily fast
difficult
and
it
fun
is?
this is. Actually, it is fun because when you have Christmas carols in the
I feel like-
background, this is what gets you in the mood for the holiday. When we start making these cookies, it's actually now you know it's around the corner. Now you know it's.
I can see why you need to put wax paper down.
Yes,
It's all over the table.
It's all over the table. It's crunch time, and it's really nice. And it is. It has become a tradition in my house. So.
I feel like I'm racing the clock here, like I'm going to screw it up if I don't hurry up.
Well, no,
There's so many parts.
and I will tell you that anybody under the age of 10.
Can't do it? They're not allowed?
No.
Is that the age that you're allowed to
You
start
know how
doing
you
it?
have the cookie in the center and nobody wants to eat the beautiful cookie and they leave it till the end?
That's not true of kids.
Anyone under the age of 10, no matter how many cookies you have,
They
they
go for
pick
that
that one up and that's the first one they eat. So, yes.
So how many of your friends have even gotten these cookies lately? All your friends that have kids, they're not even getting these cookies.
Well,
are they?
if I don't show them the tin first, they'll never see them because that's the first one they go for. That is absolutely the
I
first
wonder
one.
if any of them hide them from their kids.
I'm sure they do.
Like I'm imagining.
I'm sure they
Because
do.
you only give them one. If you gave them 3 or 4, they wouldn't
Well,
have to
so-
hide them.
listen,
Why
that's
are you
how
being
you-
so stingy?
Because that's how you know where you are in the Geraci.
Oh, so the people you like get more than.
Some people get two.
Okay, I've never gotten 2. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not even sure I got 1. I've gotten cookies from you though.
Have you gotten cookies?
I have gotten cookies from you.
I don't see you as much anymore when you.
I know.
Yes, the first year I gave you cookies, I think I was a little nervous.
Because you're giving the baker some cookies?
Yeah.
You're afraid that
You
I would
liked my
judge you?
cookies, but you liked my cookies.
Because they're good cookies.
Listen, I
These are
have.
tried and true recipes.
I
These-
have a little bit of everything in my cookies. I have cookies from my mother.
What are some of the other cookies you like to do?
Well, I have her arugula recipe, so we have Jewish cookies in the Christmas cookie tin because
Well,
we're a
this
diverse
is
group.
2016.
So it's
Clearly,
fine.
we should all
Yes,
get along, right?
that's right.
It shouldn't just be about one or the other. It's holidays now.
And then I have Italian fig cookies in there from.
You make those Italian fig
I
cookies?
do
I've
make
never
the
gotten
Italian.
those from you. They're super labor intensive.
They are.
They're not easy cookies to make.
They are not.
That's from your Geraci
See,
side?
and then when you get all this stuff on your fingers, then your eyes start to get white and all this kind of wonderful
Everything starts
stuff.
changing colors?
Yes, they do. That's when it's time to take a break.
That's why your daughter can only do
That's why
13,
she
even
can
though
only-
she's a grown adult.
Yes, that's right.
She probably won't even see this. I wouldn't worry about it.
I won't show it to her, believe me. Where's my beard?
Would she be offended?
No,
Oh, good. She seems like a fun girl.
she is. But this is her claim to fame.
Her 13 cookies?
She's
She should
the,
aspire for more.
well, at a time, she takes a break and then she comes back. So how many did we do? See,
We didn't do 13, but I
I
think we
know.
did enough for now.
that's what I'm saying.
They look beautiful.
But when they're all together, look how cute they look.
Have you ever just eaten them right away? Because that's what we're about to do. Like, you're supposed to let them sit, right? So they get the icing
I don't
hardens
really
up?
eat my cookies until like a month after Christmas.
A month after
Yeah,
Christmas.
when I'm
Because
so
the
sick-
flavor has developed, or because you're tired of cookies?
I'm tired of looking at
You
cookies.
don't eat them when you're making them? That's my problem, is I'll eat them while I'm making them.
I might
and I'm
taste
sick
them
of 'em.
warm out of the oven.
'Cause you have to
taste.
see if they're
I have
good
to-
and
I
they're
do have to
warm.
taste them. I do.
You can't pass up on a warm
But
cookie.
I don't.
Especially if you got a hot cup of coffee there, too. Because you're trying to
Because
stay
I
awake
eat-
because it's 2 o'clock in
I
the
eat
morning and
everybody
you're only
else's cookies.
26 things in.
Yeah.
So you exchange. You get other people's cookies in.
Some, yeah. But
No.
I don't really go into a cookie
Okay,
exchange
look, is there
type
any-
thing.
do you ever have cookies that you're like, you take it from the person because you really like the person, but you don't really eat their cookies?
Yeah.
You don't have to say who, but I'm just saying.
Listen, I've been doing cookies a very long time. There's some cookies I look forward to that aren't mine, but I like my cookies.
You like your.
It took me 10 years to allow my husband to put his cookie into my tin.
What's his cookie?
He makes other kinds of cookies, like butter cookies and things like that.
And they weren't allowed to go in the tin.
No, 10 years.
Did he ever do? I would have just done a separate tin. I'd be like, you have
We
your
did-
own tin. I'm
we
getting my.
did
I'm doing
that.
my own tin.
For 10 years we did
Are
that.
you serious?
And
So
then-
wait, so now all your friends get gypped. They were getting 2 tins of cookies for a while, and then all of a sudden they're only getting 1.
well, no, it was. I guess you're right. No,
That's so unfair.
I know.
But it brought you guys closer together, right?
It did, and also made me not have to make as many cookies. So it was good.
All right, well, we should try these to make sure that they came out just like you thought they would.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious. They're good.
Delicious.
It's a nice sugar cookie with a little bit of orange in there. It's not plain.
It's not plain. And again, I love that you don't have to use a cookie
You know what? I
cutter.
don't think I've eaten one of these in I don't even know how many years.
You don't eat your cookie?
I don't eat this.
Because they're not good a month later, and you don't eat any of your cookies for a month.
I don't want to waste it on me. That's a lot of work.
All right, well, I'm a mess. You're a mess.
I know.
Thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us here on Baker Dave Presents. And a special thanks to Denise Geraci and for her delicious Santa Claus cookies. Join us again next time on Baker Dave Presents, and remember, every recipe has a story.